Atlanta's #1 radio stations, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat 94.6 radio stations, has you covered. From our studios to our newsroom at K.L.P. Entertainment. Listen on all major audio platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audacity, Apple Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, and more.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
K.L.P. Aftermath with your host Kennedy Lucas brings out all the stops. Tune in to K.L.P. Aftermath as we have stories, reviews, current events, and even our famous segment, Elephant in the Room. Inspired by the Breakfast Club's Donkey of the Day, K.L.P. Aftermath with your host Kennedy Lucas streams on Atlanta's #1 radio station, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat's 94.6 radio station. Listen on all major audio platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audacity, Apple Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, and more.
He went without food, not to lose weight, but to help people lose generations of hate. While many around him rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. When others used religion as an excuse for war, he used it to remind them of love. Mahatma Gandhi made the world a far better place by reaching out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. Soul is in you. Now pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
You are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
And the other stations are tuned in too.
K.L.P. Aftermath. Swanky. With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. And I can't say that this is the Beyond Swanky podcast with me, James, and Monica. I can't say that. If you guys have seen our social media post, if you guys have seen any marketing thing that we did in the last couple of hours, or the last 2 days, I would say, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're at the right place of our radio station, Swanky 93.3, the radio station, and the Heat 94.6. Yes, this is our comeback for K.L.P. Aftermath. We're still in our 5th season, completely restructured, and of course we've got Simone Teagues and M. Carter. Both of them, they're here in the studio. They ready to go too. They look so excited. We ready to go. We did go through some notes here this morning, and I kind of, if y'all give me 2 seconds, I gotta explain to our audience where have this show been, because K.L.P. Aftermath has been the show, right? It is a household name. Everybody's been tuned in, from being in front of the camera to different studio sets to different things. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. The reason why K.L.P. Aftermath has been on the back burner as of late, it takes, guys, audiences, y'all must know, it takes a lot when you're trying to do a podcast and you're trying to do the video version of the podcast. It takes a lot of time, energy, and money. It does cost for production. I had paused the K.L.P. Aftermath production side of it because we needed the funding to make our documentary, Street Style Homecoming, coming to Prime Video, by the way. We needed funding for Eden Prime that came out this year. we needed funding to make 1943, also getting ready to come out for Amazon Prime. A little plug there, guys. I needed those funds for other things. After we wrapped production, we've started the new reconstruction of the Beyond Swinky podcast. Of course, I introduced my girl Monica Gray and our dude James Myers on the show, and as of late, they've been performing really, really well. This is the new direction of K.L.P. Aftermath. You know, no cameras. It's just us in the studio, in front of our or behind our mics, giving us stories, giving us topics of conversation. And that's what K.L.P. Aftermath is going to be like going forward. We're following our audiences. You guys like it when I've turned into a one-man band to a three-person band. You guys can only remember back in the, like, let's say K.L.P. Aftermath Season 3, summer season, right? It was just me. And, of course, occasionally I would have pop-ins and special guests on the show, but it was just me, right? And as of late, our audiences, you guys loved having different voices, different people, different energy in the studio to give us different takes on stuff. So I hope you guys like our decision. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, we kind of miss you being in front of the camera. Rest assured, I'm going to be doing a lot of video content. I did mention on the previous episode of the Beyond Swinky podcast that my good friend Shell Purcell, we're getting ready to reproduce her podcast, and we're doing a lot of content creating for her. So we've got content on the way when it comes to cameras. We've got content on the way when it comes to films. Again, a couple of weeks from now, Street Style Homecoming hits Prime Video. 1943, my latest thriller film, hits Prime Video and more later on in the next couple of weeks. So I appreciate you guys' patience. Season 5. Now, Mason, I know me and you been friends for a very long time, but I do this thing called ladies first. So, Simone, how you doing?
Oh man, I was so ready to come into the studio this morning. This wonderful Friday. It's payday, by the way, for most of us. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Simone Teagues. You might hear Mason and Kennedy call me Simone T. It's just like a short superstar name, if you will. Simone T, Simone Teagues. However they want to call me out there in the universe. It's me, Monica. Monica's here at the studio too, because she's kind of grading my performance in radio right now. But I got a studio line. It's your girl, Simone T. That's how. Okay, so that's how Monica does her intro. I'm gonna work on my intro. I don't know yet. I kind of like the "It's your girl" part. I don't know. I gotta think of something else because that's Monica's, so I can't. She's staring at me right now. She said, "Yeah, don't use that again." That's my lingo. Don't use that. But welcome to the K.L.P. Aftermath. Who am I? Songwriter, artist. I work a lot of under the table when it comes to, well, not under the table, but I work a lot of behind the scenes when it comes to Swinky Records. I work closely with DJ Lupizzi on him and Kennedy's latest EP album. I've done some of the vocal coaching for some of our singers, K-Smooth, Terry Magic, Kennedy himself. I work out a lot in the music field. So that's what I do under K.L.P. Entertainment. I heard the Beyond Swinky podcast as of late, and Kennedy, you have a good network, by the way. You have great shows. You're doing a lot of dope stuff. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of something that I know can go long for a very, very long time. And I know with K.L.P. Aftermath, our structure might be a little different when it comes to the Beyond Swinky podcast, because I know, and I got the okay to talk about it with K.L.P. Aftermath. With this restructure, we're gonna focus on big topics. Like, if you have the Beyond Swinky podcast, if you want multiple topics for just multiple topics, go listen to the Beyond Swinky podcast. But here on this show, we focus on something huge, and that's our main focus when it comes to this type of show. So I do hope our fans love us. I know we're new. Me and Mason are now new to K.L.P. Entertainment when it comes to the podcasting field of things. But I'm excited. I'm very excited for the future. I want to thank our audience, our fan base in general, ahead of time. Because, you know, the show amongst many of shows we have here at K.L.P Entertainment, we're gonna do a lot of dope stuff. And I look forward to the future. I really do. I look forward to season 6, summer season. That's coming up. That's gonna be fun to do.
Simone T. I might call you Simone T, Simone, because I know your last name is Teagues, but Simone T is for me. So like Simone said, guys, K.L.P Aftermath, it's a smaller show. We're restructuring this show as a smaller show because, we do a lot during the day, whether it's our other show, Beyond Swanky Podcast, and SNN and other content. But the purpose of the K.L.P Aftermath is to kind of focus on a big topic. And then, of course, Addison's going to do her segment here on the show as well when it comes to our hip-hop news. Usually Monica does that on the Beyond Swanky Podcast, but Monica, she got one show at a time. So that's kind of the purpose of this show. Just, a smaller podcaster or a smaller podcast show. We talk about something that is major, that's, big enough to talk about on this type of show. So, Simone, you hit the nail on the head on that one. Of course, we got one more host, MC M Carter. Mason Carter, good friend of mine. Mason, how you doing, man?
Blessed and highly favored is how I'm feeling. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you say it, Kennedy? Boys and girls? You say the boys and girls part too. I'm Mason Carter, writer, producer, director for K.L.P Entertainment. You might have saw quite a few mini-series that we had on YouTube back in the day. The Desperado story, the Max Payne story, the Mass Effect story. We took those stories, redone them, reanimated. So those were a long time ago too. Down to me being a writer and producer. One in particular, big writer on Eden Prime as of late. So that's my latest project with Kennedy, was Eden Prime, that came out later this year. So, and also a big writer head for 1943 that's getting ready to ship out. It's going to be good. That movie's going to be good too. So it's good to be on a platform like this. It's time. It's so time for me to be in front of a mic, being more active. Me and Kennedy, we've been friends for a while now. So I'm excited. I'm excited for our topic today. I'm excited for the future of this show. And thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on the show. You sound so jolly and ready to go. I love it. I love the energy. I love the energy from you too. So like I say, that's the structure of our show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Now, we're not going to waste any more time today because we do have a review to talk about. So again, I'll go ahead and start us off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, spoiler alert. Again, spoiler alert. Let me say it one more time, guys. Spoiler alert. Simone, spoiler alert. Mason, spoiler alert to a lot of people out there who haven't seen this movie. Go pause this podcast, watch the movie, and come back to this podcast because I might spoil some things for this movie review, if you will. The whole basis of K.L.P Aftermath is talking about the aftermath of movies, shows, games, news, whatever have it. The new structure of K.L.P Aftermath. Now, Super Mario Brothers came out Wednesday. Monica, as I smile at her, hey baby. Thursday, April 6th, we were doing the morning show, the Beyond Swinky podcast, and she poses on the question that, hey, you on Wednesday, you had a day off, you saw Super Mario Brothers, how was it? Now, of course, before we came on the radio, I told him everything, because I know yesterday I saw the movie with some friends Wednesday. Yesterday, Monica and James went to go see it because they know they were going to tune in. And then I told you guys to go see it yesterday, and y'all did, because we got to talk about it. So I didn't want to talk about it and spoil it from you guys if you guys didn't see the movie. So Super Mario Brothers Wednesday. Typically Wednesdays and Sundays are typically the office days The office days that we're closed, that we don't really do anything, especially on Sunday, because Sunday is a day where it's Sunday and you need to relax and chill and not worry about work. Wednesday is one of those other days. I got up, I got my laundry done. I said, that movie comes out. It was the 5th, so a couple days ago. And I said, yes, let me get dressed because I'm going to buy this ticket and I'm going to go to get some dinner afterwards. I went to the Flips Plaza. If you guys don't know, we're headquarters here in Atlanta. So the Flips, I think it's Phipps Plaza. I keep saying Phillips Plaza, but it's Phipps Plaza in Buckhead, Atlanta. Great mall, by the way. I've been there one time and I forgot how huge the mall was. I really did. I walked in and I remember it having 3 stories, but I got really lost. I think they changed some things around in there. Good mall, by the way. I recommend everybody going to that type of mall. It's actually pretty big too. It's not as small as people think it is. So I ended up going to AMC. AMC, not a sponsor to them, but again, AMC, if you want to sponsor us on the show, please sponsor us. But I always like to go to AMC because I like the service. I like the reclining seats. I like the theaters themselves. We didn't go see the Dolby Theater. They have a couple of Dolby theaters and AMC. They were booked out. They were. So Wednesday, I went to go see the movie. I got some candy and a drink. I got a reclining seat and I, was able to relax. And the movie begins. The movie wasn't crowded. There was a lot of people there. It wasn't as crowded. There were some kids in there, but I didn't mind it so much because, I sounded weird just now. Didn't mean to say it like that. But what I was trying to say is there wasn't a lot of kids that were just kicking and screaming and crying everywhere. There were a few kids that were, talking, but it wasn't as loud. The parents were making sure that they, be quiet because we're watching a movie, which is very understandable because when I go see what's classified as kids type of movies, kids of all ages come and babies. Let me tell you, if your baby is an infant, don't bring your infant baby to a movie theater. They're not going to remember seeing this movie. I don't understand why people bring their 1-year-old baby that doesn't know anything, crying and shitting all over the place, trying to watch this loud ass movie, right, where they don't remember, they don't know what's going on, they're agitated, they're hungry, they want attention, they're going to cry and ruin the movie experience for everybody. So I always say to people, don't bring your 1-year-old or months-year-old baby to a loud theater because they're not going to remember that. They're not. I don't remember jack squat when I was 6 months old, 8 months old. I don't remember that time. I don't. But there were some kids in there, but it wasn't too bad. We listened to the movie and I wasn't agitated. I got into the movie. It was great. Now, spoiler alert to a lot of people. First, I'll go around the table. Sorry, Mason. I do this thing here on the show, on every show, ladies first. Simone, what'd you think of the movie? First impressions.
So, I am the person where before I dabble, especially in movies, I like to look at the reviews. It's kind of like the same concept. If you're going to go to a place to eat, you yep and you look at the reviews. And if the reviews is not as great, then you kind of say, okay, I'm not feeling this. I honestly gotta say, this movie wasn't half bad. I like the voice actors. I'm gonna be a strong advocate and say Jack Black did his damn thing at playing Bowser, cause he killed that role. He killed it. He made that his character. And first impressions with Jack Black playing Bowser, he did his role. There's going to be many Mario movies where he's going to get called to play Bowser because he is Bowser, right? When I first heard that opening line, the opening lines, will alert to a lot of people, was open the gate or be destroyed. He did not sound like Jack Black. He sounded like Bowser, but you would be surprised when you say, oh, that's Jack Black? Really? He did his thing with that performance. every character has a uniqueness to them. I honestly gotta say, Chris Pratt as Mario, he did what he did. I thought it was cool. It wasn't that half bad as what people were making it out to be. There were some moments where Charlie Day would sound like Luigi, but some scripts would say, okay, that just sounds like Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? Peach, voice actress for Peach, she did her thing. The more funny thing with me was Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen, because so there's moments where you hear Seth Rogen's iconic laugh, and you hear Seth Rogen's laugh in Donkey Kong. It is interesting. It is so interesting. I liked the character development of this. I like how, and you really gotta pay attention, guys. Spoiler alert to a lot of people again. In some of the scenes, they do a lot of throwback to a lot of older Nintendo characters and consoles. There's one scene, spoiler alert, one scene where they started their plumbing business, but it didn't go off that right, so they go home, have dinner with their family, and Mario's upset with their dad because the dad's doubting them. He goes in to his room, and he's playing a Super Nintendo. Or, not a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo Entertainment Center. So the very first Nintendo, he's playing Kid Icarus. Right? From one Nintendo character to another Nintendo character, they're using a lot of older Nintendo characters within this movie. And I think this was a great lineup. I think when they have a lot of concepts that are getting introduced, again, other Nintendo characters into this movie, number one, it gives me two things. It's number one with nostalgia, because they're using all of their IP in this one movie, which is great. And number two, they might be lining up with more, I don't know if Illumination's going to be the key role in this, but they're introducing a lot of their other character IPs that maybe they're going to get their own spinoffs in their own movies. And maybe they might collide, right? I think Illumination is one key player. I'm sure if Sony Animation came to the table, they'll probably be a part of it. DreamWorks, if they came to the table to Nintendo, say, hey, here's what we can do with Donkey Kong, for an example. Let's say if DreamWorks said, hey, let's take Donkey Kong's IP from Nintendo, let's make him a movie. And if Sony Animations or Blue Sky, they come in and say, hey, we want Link, Legend of Zelda, can we make a movie out of that IP? I'm sure they're going to articulate and really create a whole universe franchise. This is kind of like the same thing with Marvel, right? Marvel with all these different companies, even though it's Marvel, but you got Sony, got all these different animation companies that's making use of their IP, and they're creating more movies out of this one company, being Marvel. So Nintendo might be doing the same thing, is creating a whole cinematic universe, probably calling it the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, and making more movies out of these different characters. And that's what we're going to see further on. And that's something that you see within the movie. The movie was great to the point of Bowser being a felon. You can really see how evil Bowser is in this film. I really liked how they're going through the I think it was the third scene where, you know, Mario is exploring the Mushroom Kingdom, and you have the Toads, and, you know, they meet for the first time, and there's that meet cute kind of thing. And there was a moment in the movie where Mario's running, spoiler alert, Mario's running to find Peach, Princess Peach, and there's kind of like a, Princess Peach has this like, moment, right? Where Mario's running and she might fall in love, right? But it wasn't really thoroughly explained throughout this movie. I don't think that's the lingo of it being kind of a love interest between these two, because you never really caught that in this movie. But it's very, very interesting. Very interesting within this movie.
No, I'm with you, Simone, because I do read the reviews, and I think a lot of people, because it's funny, a lot of people are upset that this is more leaning towards kind of like a kids movie. That's what I've been seeing. Oh, it's a kids movie. Oh, that movie's only for Mario fans. But duh. I mean, what do you expect? It's a Mario adaptation movie from a almost kid friendly, but if you're like within our ages and where we grew up playing Mario over the years, yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed everything it stood for. I enjoyed the character development. I could tell that there were some scenes in there that they just kind of get the scene out and then boom, went on. So I do understand when fans say that, well, maybe they didn't quite explain that quite as thorough, or they didn't get deeper within that, right? But I feel like the movie doesn't have to. I feel like it's a wonderful tale for a start of what the Mario franchise can bring. Because obviously, we all know this. They're going to make multiple Mario movies. It's not going to be just that one. It's going to be Mario Brothers 2 and Mario Brothers 3, and then a spin-off adaptation, and then other characters are going to have their own spin-off movies. It's a whole franchise now that they just opened. I do like it how the way they used all their IP, like Simone said, you know, there's some scenes in there where Luigi gets captured by the Shy Guys, and that's actually, Shy Guys are actually one of my favorite characters because they're just so cute. But it's the Shy Guys that's captured. Spoiler alert, guys, by the way. The Shy Guys are capturing Luigi. He's getting captured, putting on the ship to go ship up to Bowser's castle. He looks back at the castle, and he has a reminisce moment of when he was a baby. So we got to see baby Luigi and baby Mario in Illumination cinematic film form. So that was very cool and very, very unique that they add in there. It has been confirmed that the king of the jungle, the King Kong of it all, is Cranky Kong. I really like how they spin Cranky Kong, right? Where he's a little bit younger. I mean, he's older, but he's younger, right? Because if you remember, Cranky Kong in the Donkey Kong video game series, he's hunched over, he's walking with a cane. You know, he's very old style with that. But in this movie, he's agile. Hell, he's riding a motorcycle in this movie. He's very, very agile. He's very flexible, very agile in this. One thing, and I know, Kelly, you said you're going to touch on it too. I really liked it. They, spoiler alert, we got to see Diddy Kong in the movie. So Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, and Chunky Kong, they're in the movie. Diddy Kong might have one small little lyric, but the fact that we got to see Dixie Kong and Diddy Kong in the movie, oh yeah, we're making a Donkey Kong movie, right? Because you can get casting for all of them. Very, very excited. I'm glad we got to see those characters in the movie. I was so sad at first that, hey, we need to see other Kongs that we know. And Diddy Kong, there's a scene where Mario goes in there, they're chanting DK, DK. Cranky said, okay, quiet everybody. And then you can hear a small raspy voice, DK. And then Cranky going like, hey, that is especially you, Diddy. I'm like, no way. And then there's a shot of Diddy Kong with Dixie. I'm like, oh yeah. Very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. I gotta say, that's actually one of my favorite scenes. It like Simone, like you said, there's a scene in there. Mario's getting the snot beat out of him, and you can hear Seth Rogen's laugh like Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's laughing, and it's just that famous Seth Rogen chuckle. That part was it was funny because you never expect that before. But that was actually one of my favorite scenes. Another scene was the Mario Kart scene. I love that sequence. I loved how they formulated the karts. I loved how they are driving on Rainbow Road, and there's a whole kind of Mario Kart concept when they're getting ambushed by the Bowser army. Very, very exciting. I loved how they used the original soundtracks, but they made it more cinematic. It's phenomenal. It's just that good.
I do agree with the concept of it being a movie for Mario fans. I think a lot of people have that mixed notion that, hey, we want this movie to be deeper for some odd reason. But it's for the Mario fans to appreciate. I think this movie is for the fans to appreciate, Mario as the character, the power ups, the music. Like you mentioned, Mason, seeing Dixie and Diddy Kong in the movie, Rainbow Road, the Mario Karts, the shell. This one scene where there's this I guess General Cooper's riding this big vehicle, guys blows up, and he turns into the blue shell, right? And we all know from the video game that if you are in first place, quote unquote, or you're messing with the blue shell, it messes you up, right? In the Mario Kart game. So I think they try to cater to people who are fans of the video game franchise and play some of the majority of the games to really understand all of it. It's the same thing where you had it to where Mario versus Donkey Kong in I want to say the third scene, they're fighting as if they're in Super Smash Brothers. Right, where they're getting the power-ups, beating the holy hell out of each other, right? It's one of those things. We saw Yoshi's, right? The Yoshis are running, a herd of them, and then the pink Yoshi looks up and say, "Hey, who is that?" Very, very interesting. You've got the obstacle course, and then you kind of see that in the first movie, where they've got a call from a rich house or a rich person in Brooklyn. A rich couple, that is, and it's a job for them. They're racing to the job, and they're going through these obstacles as if it was a Super Mario World level or something, right? And towards the last scene, where, again, spoiler alert, where Mario and Donkey Kong's going to the line to the final boss battle, if you will, going through a stage. That's what it felt like. We saw a lot of characters. Like we mentioned, spoiler alert, you see King Boo and King Bomb Bomb in this movie, right? Very, very interesting. They might articulate a Luigi's Mansion movie because of that character development, that IP that they have in there. It's quite exciting. This movie is, like I say, this movie's good. I recommend people. Now, some people are going to wait until it comes to some sort of streaming services. I'm wondering who gonna sell it to what. But it's really that good. I enjoy it. Now, the movie is a little bit okay. So the movie's not long, but it's not short either, if that makes sense. I think the movie was long enough for us to get the story out. Could this movie have reached 2 hours and 10 minutes? Probably. But I feel that Nintendo and Illumination, if they get partnered to make that movie again, or the sequel, which they probably will, I think Nintendo was testing the waters, right? I feel like they were just kind of testing the waters a little bit and see what happens, how many sales we going to get open weekend for this past weekend. Hopefully the scores will come out maybe Monday. I know the movie came out Wednesday. We all saw it. Well, I saw it with some friends Wednesday, and then you guys saw it yesterday. Between Sunday and Monday, we're probably going to get final reviews of box office scores. IGN gave it an 8. And I got to say that this movie is an 8. It is. Because it was missing some things. I think the thing that was missing for me, and they're very little, guys, because this movie's good. I enjoyed it. But I think what was missing was not getting a full in-depth explanation on some things. Why did Bowser come and get the Power Star from the Penguin Kingdom? What's the backstory behind the Penguin Kingdom? What's the backstory? Is kind of what we're missing with Bowser in the Penguin Kingdom and the Luma Star, right? The crazy Luma Star. Like, did Rosalina lose that star? Is it psychotic? Like, what's the behind the stories of that character? Right? I want to say what's the behind the stories of the Kong Kingdom, but we're probably going to see that in the Donkey Kong spinoff movie. We're probably going to see that. That was really the only thing for me that was missing. Like I say, Chris Pratt. I know a lot of people like Chris Pratt as Mario. I don't know. But look, I honestly think, and I've been saying that since we first saw this trailer, he did okay. I got to say that, guys. He did okay. I mean, I was convinced. Now, is he better than Chris Martinet? No, not by a long shot. But he did okay. Charlie Day as Luigi, there's some hit or miss. Now, one thing though, they do use the Wahoo cheer a lot. You hear that a lot in Mario in this game. You do. You hear that a lot. They didn't. So Chris Pratt uses the Italian accent for the Super Mario Brothers plumbing commercial that's in the movie. Spoiler alert. But you hear the Wahoo a lot in this movie, where it's just kind of, it was a little bit redundant, a little bit, because I know Mario has more catchphrases than that, but I get that's the angle they were going for, but you hear that a lot, and it's like, okay. Towards the end, it was a big showdown between, spoiler alert, guys, showdown, somehow the big bullet bill that's chasing after Mario towards the end of the movie gets sucked into the pipe, and then everything, all the characters, they get sucked back into the pipe, back into Brooklyn. The Super Mario fight was the animation choreographic of Mario and Luigi fighting Bowser was okay, but it was a little bit like okay. I like how they had the Super Mario when Mario gets the Power Star, that Super Mario Superstar jingle comes on. They redid it to make it fit into the cinematic version of the film, which was okay. Not bad, not half bad. But it was just like, okay, it's kind of predictable towards the end. It was just a little bit, but it wasn't as bad in my opinion. Bowser gets shrunk down. Of course, Peach makes him eat the mini mushroom. He gets shrunk down, and then he gets captured. And that was primarily the movie. Like I say, guys, we're probably going to see more. We're probably going to see more in this. I don't think it's going to be this is movie that's it and quit and that's done. No, they're going to make more. They're going to make more. Definitely they're going to make more. Like that's a no-brainer there. Very, very interesting for that. Like I say, guys, as we wrap up here at K.L.P. Aftermath, go see the movie. It's good, though. Like, if you got $16 to spare and you want to go to a good theater, this is a movie to go see. I know it's tricky because a lot of other good movies are coming out this week, but if I'll say this, if you are a Mario fan, then this movie might be the one for you. So again, go check it out. You might like it, or you might not. I don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Did you go see the movie, Super Mario Brothers movie? Did you like it? As always, Simone Mason, thank you for coming in for this show. We got many more shows to go with this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of introductory episode, our former review of the Super Mario Super Mario Brothers movie. Go check it out. It's available only in theaters right now. It's good. It's very, very good. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today, Friday, K.L.P. Aftermath review of Super Mario Brothers movie. I've been your host along with Simone and Mason. Thank you guys as always. I've been your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. As always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.